In our industry, most docs would love nothing more than to be known as the orthodontist in their hometown. Well, in one small city, about an hour outside of Detroit, there's a woman who's claimed that title and so much more. In less than 6 years of operation, she's gone from brand new startup to a pillar in the community. And now, with an associate, 2 locations, a third in the works, and just weeks away from relocating to a brand new building, she's showing no signs of slowing down. To give us some insights into building a next-level orthodontic brand, we'll be joined today by Dr. Nicole Wax. Pause your Netflix. It's time for some straight talk. Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Straight Talk. My name's Tracy Martin and I'm the founder and lead consultant at Straight Consulting. With me as always are my co-hosts and fellow consultants Scott Caldwell and Janelle Baum. Welcome guys.
Hello everyone. How's everyone doing?
Doing awesome.
Yeah,
doing awesome.
Great.
Having a good week actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting but great. Yeah, what are your plans this week?
Yeah, it's been a good week. No real complaints. We've been kind of rolling on the episodes, and it's been going well, getting lots of good feedback. But you had an interesting adventure earlier today.
I did. Today started a little interesting. Can't say that this has happened before, but today the nanny showed up to take care of the twins for me so that we could record today's episode, and rather than being prepared for work, she stepped out of her car and somehow flung her cell phone into the sewer.
Sewer.
Yeah, into the storm drain, just right down to the storm drain.
Into the sewer. So that was a fun way to start the day. We had to call the city, and the city has now come and
retrieved it,
went in the hole and brought it back out, and I am sanitizing it in my
phone soap. Yeah, courtesy of OrthoFi. So
we'll name drop that in there. Yep, you're welcome, guys.
How about you, Janelle? How's your week going?
My week is going good. Right now, Buffalo, New York, school ends June 12th. So we're kind of getting close to the home stretch here, and we'll be done with homeschooling and on our way to summer vacation.
Woohoo! I can't wait to go swimming. Okay, well, let's just get into this. Okay, so our guest today has been making waves in the Midwest the last several years. I first heard about her as, quote, the doc from a small town in Michigan who was crushing it out in the sticks. But after sharing a stage at Women in Orthodontics in 2018 and later working with her TCs, she's since become a very dear friend of mine. One of the hardest working women in ortho. This is what happens when beauty meets brains. All the way from Linden, Michigan, please welcome my friend, Dr. Nicole Wax.
Yay!
Welcome.
Wow, thank you. I got chills with that intro. That's awesome. Yeah, honestly, Tracy, it's been a pleasure to meet you or get to know you over the last several years. And you've been an asset to our team and as a friend. And I think we're due to have you back in soon anyways for some new consulting with our newer TCs. So.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I'm totally down. I'm crashing at your house again. Sounds good. Well, cool.
Well, we were bummed that you weren't able to join us in the Straight Talk studios today. For those of you watching at home, you'll notice that Dr. Wax's background's a little different. She was actually in the makeup room getting ready, and then somehow got locked in. We've got some of our technicians working on it. We've called maintenance, but fortunately, she was able to remote in from her device, and so we're just gonna soldier on without her being here next to us, but we're appreciative that you're here anyway.
Absolutely.
Never a dull moment on Straight Talk.
Thank goodness for technology.
Yeah, amen.
Well, perfect. Well, okay, so let's get into some questions. Let's have Janelle start us off today.
Yeah, so do you go by Dr. Nicole Wax, Dr. Wax, Dr. Nicole? What do you go by?
I go by Dr. Wax, I go by Nicole, and I also go by Coco to anyone who grew up with me or is in my family. So
Aw,
I have
I
many
love that.
names.
Well, before we
I
go any
love it.
further, where did Coco come from? Because that's
Oh, well, I've had a couple people in my family claim that they're the one that started it, but it really started when I was, 3 or 4 years old. And it ended up, all my coaches called me that. It's on the back of my varsity jacket. Which is funny that I just mentioned my varsity jacket because I'm always looking for an excuse to wear that again. And I haven't found a single one since I graduated high school. And I really want to have like a varsity jacket party or something just so we can sport all of our medals and, whatever, our fame from high school.
I'm down. I'm totally down.
Random.
yeah, because you lettered in golf.
I lettered in
right?
golf. I'm
Oh.
totally down to wear my jacket. And you and I actually graduated the same year from high school.
Did we really?
I didn't know that till today. Yeah.
I didn't know that either. That's cool.
Yeah, I also have a letter jacket for academic decathlon. So there you go. Didn't realize you had a mathlete on the team. So
Guess no.
I love it.
Okay.
Well, I love that I read from your website that you grew up in Fenton, Michigan, and after 11 years of completing college, you went back to Fenton, and now you have your homegrown ortho office. How rewarding is that?
Oh man, it was a blessing in disguise because some of you may know, but that was never my initial intention to open up my practice in my hometown. When I first graduated high school, I said, I'm never going back home. I don't need to live next door to my mom. I'm going to explore, and live in a cool city that has, lots to do and lots of restaurants and things like that. But after being gone 11 years, missing birthday parties and holidays and things like that, there was nowhere else I wanted to be. And I said, okay, I'm going home. And no one was really looking to bring me on full time or anything. So I said, I'll open up a small practice in my small town of 4,000 people. And it'll be boutiquey, it'll be cute, it'll be awesome. I'm excited about that. And I'll work somewhere else, as well. And I think just knowing the challenges that come from opening an orthodontic practice or any business really in a small town, really just kept the drive going so that we could overcome those obstacles. And we just grew like crazy, and we're a large practice in a small town, and it's been really, really fun and rewarding.
Oh, what a great story to share. That's awesome. Good for you.
yeah, you mentioned having a big practice. I mean, one of the things that just has so impressed me with Dr. Wax Orthodontics is like you have a fully developed brand. Like it is not just your name on the door. I mean, it is integrated from the color palettes to the website to your mascot. Like, where did that come from? I mean, that's not something they talk about in residency or something. Where did that branding initiative come from?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm just really particular with how things look, cleanliness, appearance, smells, all of that. And I just started kind of defining what my preferences are and making sure that that's what we use throughout the whole office. I probably didn't know it was called branding when I first opened because I had, zero marketing, zero business. And it all just kind of came natural. And then I learned later, as you go through it, how important that is and how useful that is with messaging and marketing and advertising and all that good stuff to have a consistent brand. And, I have a in-house marketing team, and they're amazing, and everything they put out, they know our style and they know our preferences and kind of the guidelines that we follow. But when we work with other people or maybe new people on the team and they come up with ideas or images, and that's cool. I'm totally open to new things. I think that's important to continue to evolve and have diversity in your images. But I always go back to like brands they can relate to, like Nike or something, right? Like all Nike images or Apple images, they all have a similar look. And if somebody threw in, a smiley face image with words on it and not real people or emotion or the experience, that would not fit their brand. It would be weird. So that kind of helps them relate to why I'm so particular with how things look, when we put it out for our business.
Impressive.
One of the things that really stands out for me when visiting your office is the organization that you have, and how you've deputized, Justine and Andrea to take on their departments, so that your head's not, dealing with all of the day-to-day. You've got somebody reports to somebody else who then reports to you. And so it's filtered nicely. So I think that way, a lot of probably the, we talk about highest best use. And so a lot of the things that really could be delegated does really get delegated in your practice. And I think not only is it probably attributed to the organization, but it's also to the accountability. And that's something that a lot of practices, I feel like, are very weak in. So just curious where you came up with that, because there's no way you got that in residency.
Right. That's okay. So first of all, thank you for, noticing all the work we put into organization, delegation, leadership structure, things like that. But at the same time, I always feel like that's my, like something I need to work on. And so we're constantly working on that. And pretty much this whole, time that we've been forced to stay at home, I've been working full time on revamping all of that, or kind of better clarifying just at all the different levels. So, and I can thank Fishbein Orthodontics for that, because I went to their fundamentals and they were way above me in the organization and gave me a bunch of ideas and inspiration to work on that. So we pretty much have now a checklist for everything. Sounds so lame and so boring and so controlling. It's completely opposite. It's everything they're already doing. I'm just putting it in a form so that it makes it easier. And if anyone else stepped in that role, they would know exactly what to do and how to do it, and the expectation and things like that. And, as far as accountability goes, that's actually not a strength of mine. So I had to assign leaders so that they could keep other people accountable, because I wasn't good at that. But it's so, so important, to make sure things are done and done right. So luckily, my operations manager is that is her strength by far. We talked for an entire year before I hired her. She comes from security, like hospital security. And it happens to be my cousin. We have a lot of family members in the practice. But and I said, you're a workhorse. You're an awesome person. You have a big heart. I've known you my entire life. I'd love to bring you on the team. I just don't know what role we could offer to you. And we talked for an entire year. And then she finally said, I love like training and making sure everyone's doing things the way it's supposed to be done. I'm like, oh yeah, we have a role for that, don't we all, right?
Right.
And so she's come on as a like operations manager / office manager. And she, so our leadership structure just continues to evolve as we find people that we can plug in and benefit the entire team and the entire practice.
I love that.
That is awesome. Yeah.
It's working.
I'd like to mention something else, because this is kind of a unique way to think when it comes to staffing and hiring. So we are always looking for amazing people, whether they know ortho, usually they don't, but just big work ethic and big heart. And if we find somebody like that, we talk to them, we form a relationship with them, and we think, how could you fit in my practice? What holes do we currently have that if we could find somebody who was really good at this, or could oversee it, or what haven't we thought about, could just excel the team or excel the practice, and then we'll bring that person on, perhaps with a new role, or shifting roles or whatever. So we're always open to hiring amazing people, whether we thought we were hiring or not.
I love that.
That is good advice. How many team members do you have on your team?
Including my wonderful associate doctor, Dr. Brielle, we're at 29.
Good for you.
That's like one in every 5 people in Linden, right? I mean, that's
pretty much.
Are you the largest employer officially in the tri-state area?
Ooh, well, not in the tri-state, maybe Linden, but
That's awesome. And then you're expanding, right? I mean, you are building or have built another location or a new facility. Is that right?
Oh yeah, we have lots of things to keep us busy over here in this small town. We're never, bored. So we're, 3 weeks away from being completely finished with our new building that we'll move across the street to, like literally package all our stuff and walk across the street to our new office.
I love it.
And we'll have other tenants in there too. So really excited about the entire building. that we rebuilt. It's a Union block that burnt down, several years ago. So that was originally built in the early 1900s. So we re-added that, rebuilt that for the community. Everyone's really excited. And in the last, really few months, we've acquired our second practice and working on a third. So we're just like, I'm running as fast as I can with all my goals and visions because I'm about to have a baby and that might slow me down a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. That's what people tell me. So I'm just running as fast as I can.
That's what I was going to ask you next. I was going to say, well, speaking of expansion, we have some more expansion happening.
Oh,
and so that's
exciting. I'm
exciting.
long-winded, so.
You're literally cloning yourself, so that's good.
This is great. and if I'm correct, you have not found out if it's a boy or girl, and it's going to be a surprise, right? The day of?
Well, we know, me and Ryan know the sex of the baby, and we've known for a while, but we've not told a single soul if it's a girl or boy. Oh. So our 4-year-old doesn't even know, and if you ask him, he said, I don't know.
No.
So we were, we've kind of gone back and forth if we want to reveal or wait. And my family is seriously just going crazy, not knowing. And it's really fun watching them guess and be so sure. So I think we're going to do a gender reveal here in the next few weeks.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, because I literally, just so the viewers know, I reached out to her team and said, okay, like I'll pay someone to tell me if it's a boy or a girl. Like I need to know. And they did not know. So I have tried.
Yeah.
What a fun game to play. Keep going. That's great.
It really is. And I'm a horrible liar. Like I can't lie. So the trick is you just always say, yes, I am having a girl or a boy. And then I'm not fibbing. I'm actually telling the truth,
Brilliant.
It's like some scene out of a movie.
Brilliant.
Like you have like, was it Onward we just saw recently, where it's like if they're like there's a spell and like as long as you don't lie, you're not busted. So you're like, I am having a boy or a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Nicole, if you can give all the doctors that are out there watching just one tip on how to handle returning back to work after being closed for so long, and one tip for the team members, what would it be?
All right, so we're actually going back later this week. So we are really gearing up for that and we're really excited. I would say my one tip for the team is there is enough fear out there, and we know that some of you and some of the community is going to be fearful for different reasons. So it's our job to reassure that they're safe, reassure they're going to be okay, because they want to see you and they need to see you. And so it's our job to keep people as happy and positive as possible. So just shining that light on them, because they don't need any more negativity or any more fear going in their head. They're going to do that themselves if they're prone to that. Okay. A tip for the doctors, I have a couple come to mind. One is don't slow down your marketing. People want to know that you're there to take care of them, whether they need you now, whether they want to come seek your guidance in a few months, or maybe even they're waiting for a year. But just continue to put your branding and your message out there that you're there to help them when they're ready, so that they think about you come that time. Don't slow down because you think people aren't ready to come back. Always be kind of top of mind, no matter what's going on. And then another tip is, and I had to do this myself, I am kind of thinking and defining my goals for the rest of the year. I'm not looking for the same sort of growth that I had the rest of the year. So of course, think about what your goals are for production or starts and things like that. But maybe add some other goals like restructuring, your leadership structure, or your manuals or training manuals or checklists or whatever it might be. So maybe add some of those things to your goals, since we may and most likely will see a decline in production.
That is all great advice. Yeah, I love how advice you gave for the team members when patients are coming in and stuff like that, because misery loves company. And of course, it's so easy to sit here and talk about the negative effects of COVID. And I try as myself just to keep spinning it into something positive, switch subjects. So great advice.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, I think that marketing advice is just spot on, because it's like, we all kind of have to do a reset. Everyone, like, we don't know, like, there's so much questions like, wait, is your office open? Is your business open? Is this industry open? Things like that. And so it's like just staying out there, staying top of mind, just saying, hey, we're still open. We still want to take care of you. I think that's really great. Wax, I think it was maybe at Orthopreneurs last year, you'd shared a video showing kind of during your growth, as you were having this explosive growth, that you kind of bumped into the walls and like there was just nowhere to go. And so you were literally having to kind of repurpose parts of your lobby, your patient lounge at the front to actually do retainer checks and things like that. Now, I know you've already expanded some, and then kind of take the pressure off, but how has that transition been? And then how does it transition again, not only in the new space, but in light of, COVID health?
So, whenever you come up with a roadblock or a limitation, you can either allow it to slow you down or, shift your focus or your goals, or you can figure out what you need to do to overcome that. And so with really rapid growth, you're forced to make those decisions quite frequently, and you have to make them fast, so that you're setting the tone. Are we going to continue to grow, or is this going to slow us down? So we've come up with space issues many times over the last 5 years of being open, and instead of saying, whoa, let's back off marketing, or let's not try to grow or add patients because we don't have the space, we figured out, well, how can we utilize our space like maximally, so that we don't have to sacrifice our goals and our growth. And so, we were seeing retainer checks and expander checks in regular chairs against the wall in our clinic. I'd just kind of squat down and look in there, and that's personal anyway, and that's how I am. So it just totally fit our vibe, that all worked out just fine. So about a year ago, we expanded our office, another 1,000 square feet. Luckily, we had that option, even though it was expensive. And I only was going to be in the space for another year before being in the new building that we were building. So, wow. Again, it made sense to put that time, energy, and money into 1 year versus slowing us down before we got in the new building. Yeah. Now, as far as the new building goes, we're going to have even more space, and probably more space than we need. But the nice thing about that, it's like the law of attraction. What you put out there helps you receive, or just helps you achieve what you're looking for. So we're going to have more room. So therefore, we're going to have more patients, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I love that you just keep it real. You're keeping it natural. I love it. I'm sure the patients perceive that as well.
Is there ever a point where you want to cap off at? Or are we just going to keep growing? Because I love it. I mean, I don't want to stop. So,
I mean, does anyone have a?
I think there are. Yeah, there are actually. We have a few doctors who say like, "Hey, I don't want to grow. I just want to stay where I'm at." And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I'm a robot.
No, I definitely, me and my entire team, we are like, always sky's the limit. So we don't have a cap. And a good friend of mine, I actually worked with him for at least 3 years when I was getting this, up and running, asked me like, why is this your goal? Why do you want what you want? And I said, oh, that's a really good question. And I had to think about it, because I didn't have a reason. It was just my natural drive. That's just what is in me, right? And so I thought about it, and I said, you know why? Because one, I know I can do it. I can do anything I put my mind to. You can do anything you put your mind to. So why limit yourself? You're your only limit. So it's that. And also, in my life, like I didn't grow up with, money or things. Like my mom made sacrifice for what we had, and I really appreciate that. And I think a lot of my drive, other than her being my role model and displaying that as I grew up, like work ethic and drive and kindness and all of that. I think that all the things I didn't have growing up, which matters when you're young, it does. I never wanted to want something and not be able to have it. So I think that's why I work so hard. No one can tell me no. I'm the only one that can tell me no. So I think We don't have a limit. It's, we have our dreams and our goals now, and that could change throughout time, and that's okay, because that's totally my decision,
Gosh, I love it.
I'm so
You see why I love her.
because all that gave me goosebumps. That was amazing.
Aw.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
How would you say the incubation of Wax 2.0 has affected your view on this? I mean, obviously,
skills?
there's going to be a certain degree of give and take once you're raising a baby. How has that affected some of the decision making the last couple months as you get closer to term here?
So many people have told me, baby may slow you down or just change your outlook on life. And I totally get that. So far with being pregnant, well, one, I was stuck at home for, 2.5 months, which as you're growing and your clothes stop fitting is actually a really nice thing when you're stuck at home, because you can wear the same thing every day. But I would say I always knew I wanted a family and I want many kids. And so once I kind of opened my practice, I knew eventually that would come. So that's kind of kept me from like, I can't slow down. Oh my gosh, I have to get this done, right? At some point I'm going to have a family, and maybe I'll choose to slow down. So I would say up to this point, it's only kept me going like faster or staying as more focused. And I did tell the team that is working on making my vision for office number 3 happen, that we have to break ground and start demo prior to September 4th, because that's when I'm having the baby, and then I can't change my mind. So,
right.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, that's the twins' birthday. So
is it really?
If you have your baby the same day as my babies, that is going to be awesome.
See, and it didn't slow you down, right? It did not slow you down, and you have twins, so I'm not worried about it.
No, I think you're going to be like Luke in Empire, except, like baby strapped to your back instead of Yoda. Just all day long, just throw a passy in there and keep going.
That's the thing I love most about you. It's the fact that you've never fit into a box. There's never been, there's no family model that you're going to try to fit into. You're going to make your way the whole way, and I love that. And I think we should all be striving for that. So I think it's good.
All right, everyone. Can you guess what time it is? It's time for the lightning round.
The lightning round!
So, Nicole, how it works here is we are going to ask you a series of questions. We got a few minutes on the clock. Quick questions, short answers, okay? Go ahead, Tracy. Hit her up.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, man. Probably Mexican or carbs.
Mm-hmm.
Carbs is a food group. Seconded.
Delicious.
What are you reading right now?
Oh, I'm obsessed with this book right here. The Effortless Experience. It's about customer loyalty, and it's really, really good.
Oh, very cool. I like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your favorite vendor purchase, or whether it was software, whether it was something else, but ortho related? What has been your favorite purchase in the last 12 months?
So I'm actually really slow to buy new product because everyone has something to sell to you, and our resources are limited. So I'm pretty slow to purchase. And I rarely go to meetings knowing I need something. So I just kind of, mingle and look around, and I talk about everything with my team. Like, you guys think we need this? Would this be super beneficial? But I would say 2 things that we've added on. It's probably been past a year ago, but OrthoFi is extremely helpful, and our Artero scanners, we have 4 of them. I couldn't live without those.
Oh gosh, yeah. No, you could not.
You bring it to
you
the
scan
dessert
everybody? Is that standard operating procedure? Everyone gets a scan?
Yeah, we don't do any impressions. Everything's digital. We send it out to our lab, and now we're starting to incorporate more in-house 3D printing and appliances.
Nice.
Get it, girl. Your turn.
Heck yeah. If you saw a spider in your bed, would you kill it or would you set it free?
I would trap it with a cup and then make somebody else do whatever they need to do with it.
Oh, that is a fabulous answer. Good one.
Wherever it goes, I just don't want to see it. I don't care how the story ends. I just don't want to be a part of it.
No.
What's one thing you've been binging during quarantine? I mean, I'm sure you watch at least a little bit of TV amidst all the effort.
Oh, what was my I never can remember the names of the shows. But I'll just say I've been binging a lot. Anything that looks good. That is my like shut off my brain at the end of the day, which is usually about 7 because I get up early and then I'm like done after dinner. So it doesn't really matter. What's that one? Kingdom or
Tiger King?
No.
No.
Is it The Kingdom?
The Last Kingdom. The Last Kingdom.
The Last Kingdom.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Oh, that looked good.
Nice. I know you're an early riser. What is your morning routine?
Yeah,
like,
what time do you wake up? That's what I was going to ask.
Okay. Well, typically I wake up at 5 a.m. And I prefer to work out in the morning, get it done, and then get to work before everyone else so I can accomplish some of the things on my to-do list before anyone else needs me. On quarantine, it's more like 6, and I'm may work out now, I may work out later. So I haven't really kept a schedule, which has been hard, but I need my office to be open again so I can get back on my regular routine. I really need that, and I can't force myself to do it. So my office needs to force me to do that.
Because you're a runner, right? You like to run a lot?
I do. I like to run and I like to lift weights and things like that. But my first trimester, I was very tired and very nauseous. And so getting back to that workout routine in the second trimester has been slow. But thankfully, my best friend owns a gym and she's gotten me back in there and it feels really good.
Awesome. Do you run for speed or run for distance?
As far as I can go, which is not that far, but as far as I can go, and it doesn't matter how fast I go.
Awesome.
So while you're running or lifting, what do you like to listen to?
I like to listen to podcasts.
Nice.
My favorite podcasts are Entree Leadership, which has been extremely helpful in kind of learning about leadership and strengthening your leadership skills. And then the other one is Perpetual Traffic, which is, have you guys heard about that? It's all marketing and like Facebook advertising, and it's really, really good.
Ooh, I like that.
Taking notes.
Okay.
I'm getting on that one.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. Do you think maybe you could call somebody to get her out of the
Yeah.
the room?
We'll page maintenance again, see if we can get you out of that closet there. But
It should have been there by now.
I appreciate that.
All right, well, that's a wrap on Straight Talk episode 4, Dr. Nicole Wax. Thank you so much, Nicole, for coming and being a part of this and sharing your wealth of knowledge with us and your drive. Thank you, co-hosts Janelle and Scott, for being here. And
absolutely.
We'll see you guys next week.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. I can't wait to see you guys in person.